little fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is The Morning Moment. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. This next piece is from Special Report, November the 8th, 2017. And it's Bret Behr interviewing the former US UN Ambassador, John Bolton. And as always, you can find a link to this on my website, who explains what China is really about and communism in general. And then contrast that with that very disturbing comment our Prime Minister made. And this is just as important. He can in no way at all justify if he does in fact believe in democracy. No way. No one in their right mind would make these comments if for 1 second they understood what communism really means. I, for one, find this comment very disturbing, and that this person is in charge of Canada's democracy is even more so. Take a listen, and I'll let you be the judge. So, take a listen.
Ambassador Bolton, thanks for being here. I want to get your reaction to James's piece and this mark about where we are on communism around the world.
Well, I think the Chinese model obviously continues. They once called it communism with Chinese characters. But right now, Xi Jinping, according to all reporting, has as much power in China as Mao Zedong did at the height of his rule in the 1950s. So as a justification for authoritarianism, not as an ideology bringing egalitarianism, but what it has always been once it's gotten power, an ideology of brutality, the Chinese are still doing pretty well. Remember Orwell's famous description of the Communist Party in power as a boot stomping on the face of humanity forever. That's how Xi Jinping maintains his power. It's not as visible as it is before because the instruments of terror are very well known.
You know, I want to get your thoughts about how now, in retrospect, the media overall looks at communism. Recently, I saw a New York Times opinion piece, and it was about how did women fare in China's communist revolution. And it said, quote, "For all its flaws, the communist revolution taught Chinese women to dream big." And our friend Mark Thiessen wrote a response to that and said, "Good God, communist revolution killed 65 million in China." Is there kind of a recasting of communism as history goes by here?
Look, the New York Times has been wrong on communism for a full century. This is the newspaper that sent Walter Duranty to the Ukraine and got a Pulitzer Prize for reporting that somehow missed the famine caused by dekulakization in Ukraine, killing millions of people, starvation and execution. And when Stalin died, in the New York Times obituary, it said, well, he did have these show trials in the 1930s and purges and executions. And it then said, but those who survived his terrorism came to hail Stalin as a great leader. I mean, it's no wonder the New York Times doesn't get it today. Why should they change course?
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say we need to go green as fast as we need to start investing in solar. I mean, there is a flexibility.
You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab, and email. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments at Spreaker.com under A Radio, that's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. And you can find all my podcasts and morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com and click on the Morning Moments tab.